Hello everybody and welcome to the show. Today we have something that I'm really looking forward to. Lord Drakkon from Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Here are all the sides of the box. Cool artwork. There's the back of the box. There's the other side. For those of you who don't know much about this character, this is the version of Tommy Oliver where he stays evil as the Green Ranger, helps out Rita Repulsa, and then eventually absorbs the powers of the White Ranger. Once he figures out he could do that, he just starts taking over pretty much the entire multiverse and stealing powers from other Power Rangers along the way. But this is his first suit before it evolves and becomes stronger and better, and I think it looks awesome. It's a really great blend between the green and white Power Rangers. I got a couple of scuff paint marks on mine, you see right there, and a little bit on the helmet. But it's nothing too bad. I've seen other people's dragon part of their mask is glued on in the wrong spot, but it looks like mine is glued on pretty well. I like that you can still see a little bit of the red peeking out. And the gold that they use on Lord Drakkon here it's not bad at all. It's pretty good. It starts getting a little weird towards the shins. It seems like it's different. Like the arms and the shins are a little bit different than the shield itself. But the shield and the helmet look great. The sculpt really helps out when you're trying to just get some random dynamic poses, because the shininess of the gold really helps catch the lighting. So it just helps kind of bring out all the little details that you might miss. And this is my cheap version of the Lazy Susan. You know, I don't have one of those, so I'm just going to spin it with my hands. So far, the only problem that I've really had with the design of Lord Drakkon is his shield. And we'll talk about that whenever we get to articulation. But since his shield is a little bit tougher of a material, of a plastic or a rubber or whatever, it's not as soft as these. So these, you can see they bend and move. But the shield is much more sturdy. So when you try to move the arms around, it gets a little hindered. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and move on to the articulation. The head is on a ball joint, so you get the 360, but it is a little limited, so it's only going to look up about that much and down about that much. You can see there that he's got the standard butterfly and shoulder articulation that all the other Lightning Collection figures have, but because of the tougher shield, it's going to be a little harder. That's about as far as you can get his arm out. It's not too bad. It's less than 90 though. It's less than what I'd like it to be. And whenever you try to do both arms at once, it gets a little bit tougher. So you can see that he starts splitting apart the higher up you go. But he can go all the way out to 90. 360 bicep. Double jointed elbows. They're a little bit hindered by the cuff and the armband. Wrists swivel 360. And he's got the high five hinge on these hands and on these hands. Butterfly joint goes back that far and forward that far. But the shield gets in the way. 360 diaphragm. Diaphragm bends down a little bit. Bends back a little bit. You got the ab crunch that goes parallel to the floor. And the backwards crunch. Ball jointed hips go out about that far. And forward and back about that far. .360 thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. Ankle bends down that far. Back that far. Gets hindered by the shin guard. But a great ankle rocker. Can go pretty much the entire way both ways. Let's go ahead and check out his accessories. Here's an overview of all the accessories he comes with. Here's a close-up of the fist that he comes with. And one of the open hands that he has. Here's the dragon dagger. You can see it's even got the little dragon power coin stamped on it. It looks really nice. And the flute buttons are painted gold. Really clean lines. I like this a lot. Here he is with the lightning accessory that he comes with. All you have to do is a little hole right there. You see that slit right in the middle? You just basically port that right on top of the weapon, and it just slides right in, and then it kind of just hangs there. To change out the accessories, all you have to do is pull out the hand. It's going to have a little peg like that. The pegs are long, so you have to be really careful not to bend it, but once it's in there pretty tightly. When you get the new hand, you just go in and push. And here he is with his final and probably my most favorite accessory besides the dragon dagger. This is the alternate Tommy head sculpt that he comes with, and you can see those little veins on both sides of his face, kind of showing that he's corrupted, absorbing powers, doing whatever he's doing, right? He's just evil. You can take a look at the hair sculpt there. It seems like there's little shiny bits in it. I don't know what that is. Maybe Lord Drakkon enjoys glitter. Since he has long hair, it is going to get in the way of the sculpt a little bit, so I'll show you the articulation in that. It can probably go just about that far. The hair does bend and get out of the way. It's a soft rubber, but this part in the back, it's just so much hair. It's kind of tough to get it over the shield, but you can get him looking pretty nicely at you. So when you're ready to exchange the heads, what I like to do is I'll go in and put my thumb under their chin and just kind of pull up and back. Once you pull it off, all you do, put the new head back on, and then you just pop it back into place. The dragon dagger has a nice holster, and I put it with the buttons facing you, basically. It holds it pretty well, and it doesn't really affect articulation. Let's move on to comparisons. Here's the Lunar Wolf Ranger and Goldar from the Lightning Collection. I tried to pick a couple of characters that also had some gold on them, and you can see the Lunar Ranger is a later release than both of them, and I believe they've improved on their gold. Even from Goldar, it looks like Drakkon's gold is a little more shiny, a little bit more metallic looking. I think it looks better. Here we have the Tommy Oliver Foot Soldier from the TMNT Power Ranger Lightning Collection, and we have Thanos from Marvel's Mech Strike. Next up, from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, we have King Sphinx and Green Ranger Shredder. They're both much taller than Lord Drakkon. I just want a second to appreciate the fact that these two things exist, and they're both from the Boom Studios comics. These are probably, these have to be top 5 action figures in my collection. So thank you, Power Ranger Lightning Collection and Boom Studios, for making these things possible. So here we have Itachi Uchiha and Rock Lee from Naruto. They're from the BST AXN 5-inch toy line. And you can see that they're both about shoulder height for Lord Drakkon. Next up is my bread and butter. From the Final Faction, we have a Karn Brute and Ruck with his Rampage armor. And if you don't know what this is, if you've never heard of Final Faction, they're a Dollar Tree brand, and they sell awesome toys, and you need to go check them out. I've customized these a little bit, but they're definitely worth picking up. And last up, we have Pumpkin Rapper's massive pumpkin head. It's just so big. I think it's time for our final thoughts and any possible improvements or adjustments that I've heard or that we could make to better enjoy this action figure. I have really been enjoying this action figure. Everything from the colors to the design, to the articulation. It's all awesome. The biggest problem is also probably its best feature. This shield is so eye-catching and really great, and I can kind of tell why they wanted to keep the look of it the priority rather than the function, because it just hinders the arms too much. So if you've seen any of my other reviews, you might have noticed I like a very specific pose for my action figures. And Lord Drakkon isn't able to do that pose right now. So here are a couple action figures that are able to do the pose. And I wanted to show off Shredder because he even has the shield and he's still able to do it because it's a soft enough material that it moves out of the way. Drakkon, however, can't get in that pose because the shield prevents his arms from getting close enough and high up enough. My thought is to go in and try to modify this shield. It almost looks like they've either glued or it's almost like a pre-cut. Honestly, if I could just shave off that much, it should give enough clearance to give me the arm movement I want. I also have another idea of just going in and just cutting right up the shoulder part of the armor. That way when you go to move the arm forward, it should just help spread it open and just give you just a couple more millimeters of movement, which is all you really need. Another fix might be the length of the neck. You can see here that Shredder, he's got a much longer neck peg, which helps it sit when he's got his dragon shield on and he comes with a cape. So it helps make it look more proportional. Whereas Lord Drakkon, if you took the shield off, his neck would look great and normal, but with the shield and the helmet and everything on, it starts looking like it's a little stuffy. If you or anyone you know has a remedy to increasing the neck size for Lord Drakkon, let me know in the comments down below, because that's kind of what I want this show to be all about. I want it to be new ways to appreciate older figures. And if you don't know any neck remedies, then in the comments let me know what was your favorite Tommy Oliver Power Ranger. I know he's been a bunch over the years, but which one is your favorite? I would probably have to say the White Ranger, I think. Just because I don't know enough about this version of Tommy Oliver to say that this is my favorite, but as far as design-wise, this is easily my favorite Tommy Oliver Power Ranger. That brings us to the end of the video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Honestly, it means a lot to me that you would sit here and listen to me talk about the things I like. I hope I made it enjoyable enough that you want to come back. If that's true, please leave a like and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I usually post videos twice a week and I enjoy the company. If you want to check out more of my reviews, I've got a few others up already on the channel. Or if you'd like to follow me elsewhere, here are my socials. I hope you join me next time. Please make sure you go out and have a chuckle and be nice to somebody. Thanks again.